What's up, everybody? This is your boy Stephen J, and I'm here with Simply Steve, and we're talking about wrestling. WWE, WWF, WCW, UWF, TNA, AWA. So let's kick it off. It's Wednesday. I had to work yesterday because he's graduating on Saturday, so I have to be there. So I had him off on Saturday versus my normal Tuesdays and Wednesdays off. So I'm off today. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. Let's get right into it. What am I going to give them? Raw. I'm going to give Raw B-. That's my thing on it. Huh?
I'm trying to remember what happened.
I'm just going to give Raw a B-. It was alright. But the big question was, what was Daniel Bryan gonna do when he came on Raw? Now, here's the thing. I don't know if he actually really got neck surgery because of the way he was moving his neck. The person that got neck surgery should be like this. But he was like this. He was able to move his neck around, so I don't know. But the question was, what was going to happen to Daniel Bryan? What was he going to do? Was he going to relinquish the title or get stripped of the title? And apparently, we don't know. We don't know what he's going to do. What did he say?
He said that by giving her the title, it would basically be, he would feel like he was turning his back on the WWE Universe and that everything that he worked for. So he said no. So then Stephanie says, I'm going to give you one more chance and give you to a payback. And if you don't give up the title and do what's best for business, your wife's going to get fired.
Which is stupid. I mean, again.
Because she said, because a couple weeks ago, she put her hands on her.
But my point is this. If you can't defend the title within 30 days, then unfortunately you need to relinquish the title. As much as I like Daniel Bryan, and I can understand the WWE's point of it, what's best for business. And right now, he's the hottest thing that's going on right now in the WWE. And you gotta admit that, and the facts don't lie. Although I will say the yes, no chants are lessening than it was, and that could be because Daniel Bryan's not on the show. But also, when he was on the show and doing interviews and doing wrestling matches, people would just do the yes chant. But I don't see that happening as much. And again, that could be because Daniel Bryan's not there. So we don't know. So we'll see. So
okay. So Raw started off with The Authority coming out.
So we're gonna get right into it. And again, I gave Raw a B- because it was alright. I'm close to a B- C because I got a problem with we're gonna wait till the next pay-per-view before we fire you or fire your wife or strip you from the title. Again, if you can't defend the title, what's best for business? I mean, the one thing I do like, I see they got this, I don't want to call it a pay-per-view, but it's getting prime time online with NXT. Again, I don't know why Tyson Kidd is fighting when he's not an NXTer, never has been an NXTer, maybe an indie leaguer, but he was the former World Tag Team Champion. And I see, who is it? What's his wife's name?
Natalya was on there.
Natalya, she's going to be fighting Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte, for the NXT Divas title. Again, she's definitely not. She was the former Divas champion. So again, I don't understand that. But I mean, the other guys, I haven't watched NXT in a long time. So, but them giving those other guys the actual shot, I like that. So Raw started off with Triple H and Stephanie coming down to the ring. Her doing her threatening Daniel Bryan crap. Triple H threatening the Shield. What else happened?
They fired Brad Maddox.
Oh yeah, Brad Maddox got fired. Again, he had his moments, and he's going. He hasn't been doing anything anyway. So who cares about that? So it started off for me a little bit slow, which we're going to wait and call Daniel Bryan out at the 9 o'clock hour, maybe 10:15, to keep you waiting and guessing what's happening next.
If it's that important, I think they should have opened that up with the show.
Exactly. My match of the night, I will say, was who did Sheamus face? Wasn't it?
Sheamus faced Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, that was a really good match before it got interrupted. But other than that, it was a good interrupted. And here's
no, it didn't get interrupted. He actually won the match, and then he got dropped.
Yeah, he got dropped. So, but that was a really good match. But here's an interesting point. Every time it seems like Barrett and Paul Heyman keep crossing paths. So Wade Barrett may become a Paul Heyman guy because they've been near each other. They haven't said anything to each other yet or whatever, but you know, Wade's been down while Cesaro's been fighting, and they've crossed paths several times. So look for Wade Barrett to become a Paul Heyman guy by SummerSlam. That's my prediction.
I think Wade Barrett's doing fine by himself. But you know, whatever.
Oh, and I saw this thing. I was watching on YouTube about Wade Barrett, and again, that's what I said a few weeks ago about injuries. But there was a thing, and Edge was actually talking about it. He was saying that when Wade Barrett was on his roll, it got to a point where he was fighting John Cena, and everybody was like, you know, Wade's really on the roll. We need to get him over. And John Cena was like, no, I want the pin and I want the win. And Edge was like saying that him and a couple other guys were like, nah, it's not going to go over like that. You need to let Wade get over, whatever. And John Cena said no. And then, of course, John Cena kicked out of the Winds of Change, and he got the pin over Wade Barrett. And, you know, at the end, you know, Edge said Cena came in the back, and he was like, I really should have listened to you guys, or whatever. So, you know, he's a narcissistic person. I don't like John Cena. So anyway, what else happened?
The first match was Rob Van Dam versus Cesaro until Sheamus came in interrupted.
RVD versus Cesaro. It's not taking a life of its own yet. That's like, oh yeah, I want to see these guys fight. For the simple fact that Rob is old, man. I'm telling you. Rob Van Dam is old. RVD should be OLD because he is old. Go back to the ECW RVD. Yo, any type of feud he would have got into, yo, he's running down the ring and he's fighting this, that, and the other, and it's just going. Look at him and Sabu, him and Taz, or whatever. RVD, okay, he was doing his thing. So again, it's trying to take up a life of its own to try to build momentum, but haven't seen it yet. Let's
see here. The next one was a Divas match. I don't really care about that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with the. I'm about to say the chocolate chick.
Alicia Fox.
Yeah, Alicia Fox. I don't know what they're doing with that, but who cares? She stole the crown, stole the hat. I don't know.
Then there was El Torito versus Drew McIntyre.
Again, I'm tired of the bull boy. They pulled his tail off. It's just dumb. Stop. End it already. Man, I'd rather see him and the little troll guy. What's his name? Hornswoggle fight.
They're going to have another match. It's going to be a mask versus hair match.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Although, I will say the little bull boy, he does have some really nice moves. Imagine he reminds me of a midget Rey Mysterio. That's what he reminds me of.
Then there was the Wyatt family promo with the whole Jerry Lawler thing.
Yeah, I didn't like that. You know, Jerry had a heart attack. Leave Jerry alone.
I knew they were going to do anything because Jerry had a heart attack and they didn't want to do anything to stir that or mess with that. So
yeah, so I didn't even like the whole thing. You know, it was cool JBL jumped into it because JBL's a man. So, and the cool thing is even back because last time King got beat up, Michael Cole got beat up. They was going for the whole show. JBL came back on after the commercial break. So that's what's up about that. But
yeah, it was kind of cool. Then it was Zack Ryder and Rusev.
I was shocked to see Zack Ryder. Whoa. You know it. Whatever happened to Zack Ryder? That's one of the other things. He was on the roll, and then all of a sudden, bam. He was an up-and-coming guy. Guy looks good. He had some nice wrestling moves. The fans got with him. I think what they should have done, because he has like this social media belt that he has online or whatever, that people were following him. He created his own following based off the stuff that he did online. The WWE went along with it for a while. Then John Cena got into the mix of it. Then all of a sudden, whatever, just fall apart. But you know, he fought Rusev, and then Big E came out, and again, I may look forward to see Big E and Rusev. Big E did have the flag. Again, I don't know that was because of Memorial Day, but Big E needs to put some red, white, and blue on to really get the people over chanting USA.
Okay, so I don't know if they're
Big
really
E still got big breasts though.
I don't know what he's gonna do though, but I read on Bleacher Report something about they're gonna try and make a new Nation of Domination because Rusev have been fighting a lot of African Americans. Yeah, that's what
we are the nation. And that's Farouk is in charge of it.
They talked about that in an article that I read. They said we'll bring Farouk back, he'll be the leader, and there'll be a new nation of domination, something like that. But I was like, I don't really think they should do that.
Yeah, that ain't gonna go over well. I mean, it was good when it was Nation versus The Rock, and it was good with them fighting against feuding with DX at the time. But I mean, Evolution is really not going over that good. It's kind of a thing that it has its run, and then you let it go. It's not like the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen can go strong, and then they disband for about maybe 2 to 5 years, and they come back. Everybody's like, yeah, Four Horsemen. They have a little run, then they disband. 2 to 5 years later again, Four Horsemen are back. They brought DX back. It didn't really go over too well. They brought the New Age Outlaws back. Didn't really go over too well for a long period. It was cool to see on Retro Night, but again, it had its moments, and the moments has passed. Nation of Domination, bringing that back? No, I say no.
Okay, then it was Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Batista and Randy Orton. Apparently, it was an elimination match, and then a no holds barred match. We'll say though, the whole
they got smashed. The Rhodes brothers got smashed. That's a shame. Because they can't find anything for the Rhodes brothers to do.
Cody did say that they weren't on the show card or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of...
They need to hire me. Hire me as the guy that's over the tag team division. I'm telling you, I would really make it look good again. It would look great. That's probably as good as WCW was.
Then, okay, I just want to tell you right now, I don't even like this guy. I really don't. But it was Sin Cara versus Bo Dallas.
Alright, let's talk about Bo Lee. Bo Lee had his debut on SmackDown.
Against Sin Cara.
First of all, again, the stupidest promo. What is he, narcissist? The narcissist? You got a Bo Lee! You got a Bo Lee! I did it! I did it! Look up Terry Taylor. No, not Terry Taylor, the right booster. Young Sam Houston. Look up Young Sam Houston. Young Sam Houston came in with his white and blue boots. He was in WWF for a while. And after every match that he won, he actually had some good upside, but didn't really go anywhere. He would just... like he really did it. He gave his all. Yo, Bo Lee sucks. Bo Lee is boring. That's what it is. Boring.
I don't like Bo Dallas at all.
I mean, come on. You gotta believe.
Give it his fake smile.
Come on. He's retarded. That's what he is. Bo retarded. Bo dumb. Bo stupid. Yeah. Bo bye. That's what they need to say. Bo bye. I'm sorry, this ain't working out.
They're building him up to become a heel. Anyway.
He reminds me of Damian Sandow. That's who he reminds me of. Who reminds me of The Genius.
Then there was another Divas match. It was Emma and Alicia Fox. I think Alicia Fox lost.
I don't care.
Then Adam Rose had his debut match on the Raw and beat Damian Sandow, who was Davey Crockett.
Look, if Adam Rose comes down without the crowd, I like Adam Rose. He actually kind of reminds me of a young Chris Jericho. This is the way his moves and everything. That's who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Chris Jericho. Who else he reminds me of? Nah, I think he just reminds me of Jericho when Jericho was in WCW, the Lionheart Chris Jericho, not Y2J Jericho, but Lionheart Chris Jericho. He reminds me of that. Get rid of the bunny. Get rid of the fat guy in the orange suit. I like the lollipop because he could be. I do like his entrance music. It's kind of like Whoa on Me, and it's getting crowd participation. Whoa, whoa, hey! So you got the crowd. If you can get the crowd into it, pretty good. But I don't like. Are you a lemon? That's stupid. Get rid of that. Come on.
Then the main event, I believe it was the main event. Yeah, Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio, the rematch.
Again, that was a pretty good match. They sold it pretty good. I don't know what the deal was. Sheamus is having problems or whatever because he got kicked in the head like 3 times. And
it was kind of similar to when it was like him and Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler kind of had like a concussion, and he was all ugh. But I think that was just so Cesaro could come in, or it really could have been him, with head problems because he got kicked in the head so much.
It was a good match. I really liked it. So it was a good match. Again, that's why I gave it a B-, close to a C. So I'm like in the middle of a BC or CB. So you got the pay-per-view coming up. See, Vince McMahon is no longer a billionaire. He lost a lot of money. He's trying to get out of the pay-per-view business, which will force people to go online and buy the WWE network. I think the problem is that you got to have it for at least 6 months to get it for $9.95. I mean, it's all right. It's all right price or whatever. But I mean, even at WrestleMania, they had made more money with the pay-per-view buys than they did with the actual network. I mean, you got a pay-per-view every month. So I think when we say they made like 300 or 600,000, whatever, for WrestleMania via the WWE network. So for 6 months, you're making $600,000 for the WWE network. Versus, WrestleMania made like I think it was 800 something thousand or whatever, or something like that. So, and the next pay-per-view may not be that, but you got that guaranteed money coming from the WWE network. So,
and then finally, to end off Raw, we had pretty much a brawl between Shield and Evolution with their so-called contract signing, which always ends in the same way, ends up in a fight.
Again, NWO all over again. You're not really going anything. I would have made it interesting by having the Wyatt family come down there. That's what I would have done. The Wyatt family fought. All right.
I didn't see it when I was going through the results.
I could have sworn.
I think they just had that one little thing.
Oh no, they all came out when they was about to beat up Jerry King, and Cena came out and the Usos came out. I really don't like that at all. The Usos affiliation with John Cena. Doom doom.
Yeah, I don't know what does that even mean?
That's stupid is what it means. I don't really get it at all. Doesn't really make a whole bunch of sense to me. So right now, when is the next pay-per-view?
This Sunday.
This Sunday. Who's the main event?
It's going to be Shield in the Evolution, since Dan Bryan isn't there and they have no champion.
Let me ask you a question. Cesaro's defending his title, right?
You mean Sheamus?
Sheamus is defending his title against Cesaro, and Barrett is defending his title against RVD. Mm-hmm. What about the Usos? Are they defending the tag team titles?
Not that I've heard of.
But
but if they were, it would be probably against Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
I think they should, because right now the pay-per-view sucks. The pay-per-view sucks. So, I don't know. I don't really like it at all. I've been watching a lot of shoots on the YouTube, and I found an interesting one where Scott Steiner, apparently him and Buff Bagwell didn't really like each other because they were trying to compete to see who's the buffest or whatever, or something like that. But Scott Steiner was really tearing down Ric Flair, and he was a jerk. And I finally watched the rise and fall of WCW, and it was like really sad, for the simple fact that I think Eric Bischoff got too much credit for what he did. I can't take. Here's what I give him credit for. I give him credit for the NWO. I give him credit for that. Although the name I don't give him credit for, just like I can't give the WWF credit for Austin 316. It's something that Austin said that caught on. Just like I can't give the WWE credit for the Yes chant. It's something that caught on. I can't give them credit for the Fandango, and because it's something that caught on. So
they say it's there because it's their company.
Right, but what I'm saying is, the NWO, Hulk Hogan says New World Order of Wrestling. Oh, and New World Order, NWO, whatever. Because remember, they started off as the Wolfpack, or no, I'm sorry, the Outsiders. I give him credit for the NWO. I give him credit for Goldberg.
Yeah, wasn't it like
I give him credit.
Goldberg saved WCW for a while, right?
Yeah, I give him credit for the Luchadors, which WWE never exploited, never did anything. They actually had a light heavyweight title at one point, but it wasn't as good as the cruiserweight title in WCW. I give him that. But the fall, he gets all that credit as well. Because NWO went way too long. You had too many members in NWO. And it changed hands too many times. I remember Hogan was leader of the NWO. Then it was Hall and Nash, and then they went to the Wolfpack, and then you had Jeff Jarrett. He was in charge of it. Then it just went like way too long for these guys to be in it, and then Goldberg suddenly happened. As a matter of fact, I remember when Goldberg came out. And as a matter of fact, he really wasn't defeated because he was in WCW. He was in a dark match prior to that, and he lost. I forgot who he lost to, but he actually lost. But, you know, he made his Nitro debut, and it went over pretty good against Hugh Morris, which was pretty good. And Mean Gene tried to talk to him, and he just didn't say nothing. So everybody was like, wow, that was pretty good. Then same thing next week, and it just built up. He won the title over Hogan. And then Kevin Nash was booking the matches and said, I want to fight Goldberg, and Kevin Nash beat Goldberg. So that ended the streak. But here's the thing. As long as the streak was alive, the Goldberg had hype. As soon as the streak was over, who cares now about Goldberg? So I don't really give Goldberg that much credit because the persona of him was over. It was what they call lightning in a bottle. He was his 15 minutes of fame. After that was up. After he lost to Kevin Nash, it was like, okay, Goldberg, even Goldberg was like, I wish they would have never had done that because whatever. But the whole fall, I blame Eric Bischoff because those three were his only ideas. That was the NWO. Well, I'll say going head to head with Monday Night Raw and telling the matches how he did because WWE was taped at the time. But other than that, I give him that credit. And it was huge. But the whole fall was just because he didn't have any more ideas. So he started using what the WWE did years ago between Bret Hart and Kurt Hennig, between Hogan and Macho Man. So he started doing all that retro stuff, bringing back 80 stars. They still had clout a little bit, but nobody wanted to see it anymore. That's how WWE came back and was relevant due to The Rock, Stone Cold, and D-Generation X. So you got the lowdown from SmackDown? Mm-hmm. Man, hurry up, because our battery's about to go dead.
Alright, so I'm going to give the whole show a C, and my C minus. It was actually a pretty good one. Alright, so Hulk Hogan opened up and basically was just like the WWE network's coming to the UK. That's pretty much why he was there.
More money.
Then, actually, the match night, I'm going to have to give it to Batista and Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler signed in that match. It was pretty good. Came close to beating him a couple times.
Again, I like Dolph Ziggler. They're not utilizing him right.
Then, Wyatt just cut into the promo about, him beating Johnson and he'll be the last man standing and him being a necessary evil or whatever like that. Then Del Rio won by disqualification after he was facing Sheamus because Cesaro got involved. Adam Rose, he made his little debut on SmackDown, just to say he was on there. And then finally, the Usos were facing the Eric Rowan and Luke Harper of the Wyatt family, and won by disqualification after Bray Wyatt got involved. And that's pretty much it.
Well, I think that I still don't like what they're doing to Dolph Ziggler. You like Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah.
Okay, you think they're utilizing him right?
I don't know what that means.
Using him right.
Yeah.
He's not getting any good matches. He's not in any title contentions.
2-time world champion.
He had it for 1 second before
I know,
they
right?
stripped him, so that doesn't count in my book.
He cheated his way into it the first time, stripping Edge of it, and the second time he actually cashing his money in the bank. But every time he's champion, something always happens, and that's just not fair.
Well, I think he needs to come back from the Spirit Squad. Maybe he should bring back the Spirit Squad. That would be pretty cool. Or maybe he needs to bring his own guys or whatever, something like that. What's funny is, like, Dolph reminds me of Mr. Kennedy, who's now in TNA, who's Mr. Anderson. I watched a little bit of TNA too. And again, oh God, these guys get too long of a mic skill that don't have mic skills. I love Bubba Ray when he was in WWE, WCW, not WCW. He was there for a second, but he was still part of WWE. But I loved him in ECW. But mic skills he not. He does not have any mic skills. It's just not working out for me. They give guys too long to sit there and talk, and it sucks. It's horrible. It's really horrible. I saw a video of why TNA sucks. I'm trying to think. It was Sting versus was it Jeff Hardy? I think it was Sting versus Jeff Hardy, and the match started off pretty good, and then Sting hit the Scorpion Death Drop on like within 3 minutes of the match, and it was over, and everybody's like, huh, and even the announcer was like, Sting, he won. So it was just like over. There was no build up whatsoever. And I'm gonna try to watch it again. I'm really trying to watch it again. But they even still use a lot of old promos from WCW and WWE.
To be quite honest, I really don't know how TNA is still being I wouldn't want to call it successful. I just want to say still on the air is what I'll say.
Well, I'll put it like this. I'm going to try to watch it again. Matter of fact, I'm going to look it up on a DVR and record it and see. But again, they give their guys who don't have good mic skills. I won't say they don't have a couple of good wrestlers, because they actually do. But I think Mason Ryan, who the WWE released, is back there now. But I mean, they had a couple guys, but anyway, so that's going to be it for us. For TBH, TBW, Talking About Wrestling. Next week we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about ECW. That's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about ECW, Paul Heyman, and their effect on the Attitude Era. I was watching a documentary on YouTube about ECW. They don't really go into showing any matches and stuff like that, but they were talking with a lot of former ECW wrestlers, which was actually pretty good, just to talk about it. And I'll give you this little tidbit. If it wasn't for ECW, you would have had no Attitude Era in the WWE, nor Lucha Libre wrestling style in WCW. So we're gonna talk about ECW and their impact on wrestling. I mean, and I got to give Paul Heyman credit for it. He's a smart man when it comes to wrestling. He actually he had an opportunity to go to TNA, but he wanted total control over, because he wanted to keep Hogan, but he didn't want Ric Flair. He didn't want, his thing was, you got to have one legend. You can't have so many legends, and Hall and Nash were there, and Eric Bischoff was still there, but TNA didn't want to give him any control, and he was like, look, what you're doing is not going to work, it's going to fail, and true enough, it didn't work, it failed. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. So for Stephen J and for Simply Steve, we talking about wrestling, and we out. Peace.